Socially and environmentally responsible investments are growing in the emerging market space. Here to share insight, Yves Duponselle and Giancarlo. So first, let's talk about corporate social responsibility and the demand in the wake of successive financial crises. Tell me about what your average investor is calling for today.
Well, the new age investor is calling actually to contribute to something that benefits the environment and the society. And originally this was a phenomenon that was very niche oriented. It was for like non-profit organizations. But it became recently mainstream. It's a business that is reaching out to 2 to 3 billion today and is estimated in the next 5 years to grow very, very rapidly from the concern of these investors to contribute with their money to something that is good for the environment. We believe from not only from our heads but from our heart too that it's necessary that our generation starts doing something in terms of social and corporate responsibility.
So Giancarlo, why should the average investor believe that you're any different really from any other hedge fund who bet against sovereign states prior to the 2008 crisis?
We are a private equity fund. We are not into financial speculation. Our job is to create value, to generate value, and by doing so to add this social dimension, respecting at the same time the environment and having an eye for sustainability. So basically, on the other side, we are accountable to our investors. Our job is also to make sure that the generated value is in equation with perceived value. Otherwise, we are out of business. And don't forget that capitalism in the third millennium should have a social inspiration. Otherwise, it won't be anymore.
So Yves, what type of investors are you attracting?
We're attracting new business leaders that are conscious for sustainability. We want to talk to the second generation that want to add a dimension of meaningfulness to what the first generation has created. They are investors across all typologies. They're a bit younger. They like technology, they are well educated, they know how to take a calculated risk, they're very open and assessing change as a positive thing, and they're very open-minded towards new business models.
Interesting. So Giancarlo, tell me about their risk profile.
Well, basically, we have two typologies of investors. The one who is more risk inclined and the other one who is more oriented to the preservation of wealth. But both have one common denominator, which is that they take calculated risks. And for doing that, the vehicle we have, the Specialized Investment Fund in Luxembourg, is very well suited because the whole structure is designed to protect investors. All players in the circuit are there to make sure that the funds of the investors are properly taken care of and all possible risks are mitigated. There is only one element which is left over, and this is the industrial risk. And this is where we intervene as a general partner by employing the best possible specialists in the respective areas and then making sure that top-notch people are with us.
So how does this interest apply to alternative energies and water shortage?
We're actually proposing to investors two distinct different vehicles. One is effectively investing in alternative biofuels in emerging markets. We have been thinking how they could become more self-sufficient. We combine two pretty poor performers in the industry and we put them together, and all of a sudden we get a very good performing company that is creating very interesting profits for the investors, that is putting a lot of farmers to work. So there is the social compound, and with a huge reduction of the carbon footprint on the energy that is produced locally. So there is our environmental impact. The second fund is a water fund in the regions that are under severe threat of drought. This water fund is actually hoping to cope with the shortage that is forecasted over the next years. So the idea is here to produce water and to deliver it to the local communities so that it can contribute to have a social impact, and of course also for the farmers to have an environmental impact.
Finally, Giancarlo, how are you able to prove that this is socially a responsible opportunity as well as wealth generating?
We act according to the principle that if you can measure it, you can improve it. And according to this principle, we have inserted in our key performance indicators, in the daily management of the funds, the social dimension and the environmental impact. So basically, we know exactly how many jobs you're going to create in the target markets. And if we look at the water fund, where we produce and supply potable water to the population suffering under water scarcity, we know exactly how many households are we serving. And if we make water flow, we make life flow. So things are going to improve dramatically.
Yves, Giancarlo, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.